Hello everyone, it's Emma and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm really excited to talk to you about how to care for period underwear. I think this is something that's not really talked about widely on the internet, and this is one of my favorite zero waste swaps, so what a great time to talk about them. And honestly, I would use these even if I wasn't trying to be zero waste, just because I feel cleaner, I feel more comfortable, and it saves you a lot of money in the long run as well. So the waste saving obviously is still really important to me, but if that's not your primary goal, it certainly is a great added bonus. But something to keep in mind though is that they will not last for years and years and end up saving you all that money if you don't take care of them. And this goes with everything we use on a daily basis. But period underwear can get pretty pricey, so the better we take care of them, the longer they can last. So I have 2, maybe 3 videos now talking about period underwear. I have the initial unboxing and try on, my first time users thoughts, and then comparing them to the menstrual cup and reusable pads. So if you're interested in any of that other zero waste period care, I'll leave those videos linked above and below. And then finally, if you are in the market for period underwear, you haven't bought them yet, you're looking for some, I highly encourage you get 3. You can skate by with 2, but I think 3 would be great if you have like a normal light flow. If you are a heavier bleeder, then you probably need like 5 to 10, depending on how heavy it is, which I can touch more on that in a future video if anybody has questions on that. But yeah, I would say start with 2 or 3 if you're trying to use these for like a full cycle. But if you just want to try them out, 1 is good enough. And in that first video I mentioned, I talk about 10 different brands. Obviously everyone knows about Thinx. They are like the #1 period underwear brand, at least like publicity wise. They're not my personal #1. So if you're interested in more brands, definitely check out the first video I made. So first let's actually talk about how to use period underwear, because I feel like that's not something talked about on the internet as well. But basically you just wear them like any other underwear. They have absorbent linings inside that act like a pad, but it's like already attached to your underwear, which makes it a lot more comfortable in my opinion. And I think this is great because there's no learning curve. When it comes to like reusable pads and menstrual cup, it takes a lot of time and effort to learn how to use them correctly. It can lead to leaks, but I feel like with period underwear, it's really just the same. You put them on like normal underwear. The only difference is that you have to wash them. Obviously you wash your regular underwear, but you have to wash them with a little bit more care. And then you change them as often as you normally would with pads or tampons, maybe even longer depending on the brand. I received some 12, maybe even 24-hour period underwear from Modi Body. Those things are durable. And like I mentioned with wear, you just change it whenever you feel like you need to. We'll wash them, as we're going to talk about in the next few minutes of this video, and then you hang dry them. And I think I have maybe 15 left. I still have a lot left. And honestly, it's really nice because I don't have to do laundry as often. If I was buying them myself though, I probably wouldn't buy 15, at least not all at once. I might like buy 1 pair a month as like, one $30 purchase here and there instead of $300 all at once. So that might be something to consider. Now let's talk about washing period underwear. It's pretty simple. After you change them out, immediately wash the blood out. You do not want this drying. This can cause it to cake. It can cause it to smell. It can make it harder to get out later down the line. So wash it out right away. I wash mine in one of 2 ways, but both in the bathtub to avoid any mess. The first way I wash them is by letting the water run slowly over the underwear and catching the used water in a bucket to water my plants. I just use my hands and wring it out every few seconds until it rings clear. The second way is using this smaller bucket bowl thing that has a little washboard on it. I actually got this secondhand from my neighbor in Japan, and this uses significantly less water than the other method. But regardless, I use the water either way to water my plants. And I know that sounds gross, but it actually has some nutritional benefits to plants. I will leave some information linked down below if you're more interested. Plus, the blood is diluted with a bunch of water, so it's not like concentrated blood going on the plants. And then from there, I just put them in my laundry basket as normal. I wash them with the rest of my clothes. And I know that might be a little bit controversial to some, but because I get 90% of the blood out initially, I think it's fine. I haven't had any issues thus far. So definitely be sure to get all the blood out. And of course, if you're not maybe comfortable washing them by hand, first I encourage you to have a sit down and think about why that makes you uncomfortable, because this is a natural part of life. But maybe as you're getting more comfortable with doing this, you can check out Shell Bizzle's method. I will try to find her video and link it down below. She just keeps them in a bucket of water next to her toilet. She doesn't rinse them by hand, and then she just washes all the period underwear by themselves as a separate wash cycle in the washing machine, so that way none of the blood gets on everything else. So it really just depends. I like doing this by hand because then I get to upcycle the water on my plants, and I feel like washing by hand really helps you connect with your clothes and helps them last longer, in my opinion. This also allows me to run a full load of laundry and not waste any water on these small loads of like 10 underwear. And when you're washing in the washing machine, definitely put it on the cold setting. And if you want, you can put it on delicate setting as well. But since I'm washing it with the rest of my clothes, I just leave it as the regular load. Now on to drying. This can be the hard part if you don't normally line dry, which is really uncommon in the United States, which is weird. If you have them in the washer and you're putting the rest of your clothes in the dryer, you need to get all the period underwear out of there. How I did this when I didn't have a line to dry them on when I lived in Japan, I would put them in a mesh garment bag. So a bag that you normally wash your delicates in, I would just put, 6, 8 pair in each bag, wash them in there. So that way I only had to try to find one item from the washer instead of 8 or 10 separate items. This was also easier too when Dan helps with the laundry, because some of my regular underwear look like period underwear and vice versa, and sometimes he would miss some and they would go in the dryer. It has the potential to be ruined if they go in the dryer, which is why it's really important to get them out. So I encourage you get a mesh bag. I just think it's a lot easier that way. I now line dry them outside. The sun is a great disinfectant as well, but I didn't always have a clothesline. I did have a little rack that I sometimes place them on outside too, but drying indoors works great, and as a last resort, you can just simply hang them up in the bathroom. You can drape them over the shower rod. You can put them on clothes hangers and hang them from the shower rod. You can drape them over a chair, but whatever you have to do, make sure that you don't put them in the dryer. Now for storing period underwear. There is no special way to store them, don't worry. I just fold mine and store them in a basket under my sink for easy access. But something else that I do is a yearly or biannual deep clean. I do this with all of my clothes, to be honest. The first time I saw a video doing this on, I think it was on Instagram or whatever, I was disgusted, and I'm like, I am cleaning all of my clothes like this from now on, because even with hand washing and even with washing your clothes in the washing machine, it still doesn't get all the grime out, which is disgusting. So once or twice a year, I do a big clothes deep clean, and this year being my first full year using period underwear, I thought it was time to do this with my underwear separately. I placed all of the period underwear in my bathtub with the drain plugged and filled it with warm to hot water, and then I mixed the following ingredients: 1/4 cup baking or washing soda, 1/4 cup borax, a squeeze of dish soap. I didn't have dish soap, so I didn't add it, and then 1/4 cup of laundry detergent. This can be liquid or powder. I then let them sit for an hour or so. I wring them out and then throw them in the washing machine for a fresh wash and hang dry once again. That's it. It's really super simple to do that deep clean as well. So that deep clean is really simple to do as well, and I find that it really helps get the last of the grime out of any of my clothes, but especially for period underwear. And I think this is gonna help them last a long time. That's it. It really is very simple to care for period underwear. It just takes a little more time than, throwing away a used pad or a tampon, but the perks are you're saving so much waste from the landfill, you're saving money over the long run, and I think it's just really important that we take care of the things we own, not just period underwear. But this is a great place to start if you haven't started really putting in the time to care for your items. Let me know if I missed anything, if you have any questions, or if your period underwear care routine is a little bit different. Obviously, there is no one set way to do it. This is just how I do it, and if you're brand new to period underwear, I think this is a great place to start. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time, especially if you made it all the way to the end. And if you did, and you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe. It's right down here. I talk about all sorts of things zero waste, focusing on free, easy, and fun ways to live low waste and practical ways to be an activist, if any of that interests you. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It means a lot to me, and it really helps support this video and my content. Also, something relatively new to the channel, I have started a Patreon if any of you want to subscribe to that. Thank you to my current patrons. It means a lot to me that you want to support me in that way. But again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. We'll see you in the next one. Until next time, remember that your small actions have a big impact in the long run. Bye, guys. The first way I wash them is by letting the water run slowly and washing the used water in a bucket, catching. Oh. The first way, hey, no barfing in here. Are you okay? You big baby. You're a big baby. Okay, where was I? Something, should I lower it more? Where is the thingy? Remember that your small action, I feel like that was weird.